Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This session, we mainly want to focus on the preparation of the head operation team. So, if you want to operate head operation in using the Mojalu, what are the things that you need to discuss? You need to prepare all these things we have discussed. So, the idea of this presentation is first, I will share mainly about the documentation. And after my session, Nancy will share about the importance of the documentation because currently we are working together with the Mojalu Foundation for preparing all the documentation which can support the future head operator. So we will highlight this project in the first part, and the second part, Sumo will share about her experience and also what are the things that we should prepare as a head operator. Can you go to next slide, please? So in terms of head operation team, it's really important to have a proper documentation. So why this is so important? Sometimes we do a lot of things and we have done a lot of important things, but sometimes we don't have any record. So after the work is done, nothing is there. So that's why we really keep focusing on the important documentation, especially as a head operation team with our experience. So proper documentation can support many ways for the head operation team. And the most important point is also they can facilitate the communication between different teams. As a head operation team, there will be business operation, there will be technical operation. So all these things have to be communicated with each other efficiently via the proper documentation. So it also provides another thing is about the efficiency and consistency of the complex procedure. As a head operation team with our experience, the process are quite complex. So sometimes we don't know who will do what and what are the things that we need to do step by step. So for all these things, we now try to prepare everything in the documented. The last thing is with this, we can improve the project outcome. Yes, can you go to the next slide, please? So these are some important documents. Of course, there are more documents, but here's some major important document that you should know about head operator. So the first one we call is an onboarding checklist, which helps system integrator all the details of onboarding if you want to be a head operator. So this is what we call an onboarding checklist. And the second thing that we usually want to highlight is the architect design. This is for tech team, especially for the system integration team. They should understand the tools for the deployment. So this is the document that we prepare. And the third thing is for all the business model, like the finance model, the FSP model, payment manager. So for those users who will use this business model, they should have some proper guideline for all these things. And the next important thing, of course, for the Mojalu have is settlement. So they have to understand what kind of settlement process and what are the steps that should involve in the settlement thing. So this is another important procedure for us. And the last but not the least is about the dispute and also the risk management document that we have already prepared. Actually, we also prepare something like the fraud management and all these things, but we assume this file as a major important document as a head operator. So can you go next? So by using this document, we try to assist head operator from the other country or other project, or also for the participant DFSP, because we give a lot of training to the project participant, especially head operator or system integrator. But sometimes we can also provide this training to the DFSP. So here is the list. I don't want to go all the detail. Once you get the presentations, you can see all these things. And these are the training that we can provide to the system integrator, head operator, and also the DFSP. Depending on the document, depending on the resources, depending on the need, we separate all these into the different category. Thank you very much. Messi will share about from the project perspective. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next. Why is that documentation important for a hub? Because of the needs for project management. As a project, they need to well document it so that everything, when they go in operation, goes smoothly. Effective one needs a good documentation for tracking progress, ensuring timely delivery of financial hub initiative. For regulatory compliances, this is mainly when you are in operations. Why do you need it? When you don't start during project implementation, it's so hard when you reach your operations. So for compliance purpose, you need to start, when you start a project, keep on track, document everything, design well your things so that you avoid issues of penalties and legal issues. So as you rightly said it, for risk management, during operations, you need also document your processes. It also provides transparency and accountability among stakeholders. So for the hub itself, it needs documentation for knowledge transfer between staff members, also for succession plans. They need that accurate documentation. Next. Now, there's one important document needed. Documents around the scheme. This is especially for French-speaking countries where the hub operation and schemes are not really advanced. I think you allow me after finishing to translate for them. When you are designing your scheme, you need to think the ownership of that scheme. Who owns it? Is it the community of DFSPs in a country? What participation? Who should participate and how? Are you including banks only? Bank, microfinance, non-bank, fintechs, on what conditions? What is the economic model? Is your hub designed to make profit? If it's for profit, will it be inclusive? It will not affect your transaction fees. If it's not for profit, how do you make sure that your transaction fees are not to the detriment of the hub operations or the end user? Now, if you're designing a scheme, what are the responsibilities and powers you are giving to that scheme? What is the operation rule? Or what people call scheme rules? They should be discussed initially, and everyone must participate to ensure that the ownership we said before. And when you have that scheme, who will be the hub operator? We've seen some private hub operators in the industries across Africa. Some are fully owned by the central banks. They are operating under the central bank arms or like a department from the central bank, or they are operating as a private company, but owned with a majority shareholding of the government and the private sector. So it's public-private partnership. So when you are designing or thinking of making a hub, those are the discussions as an industry, you need to make decisions. Now, what are the use cases? Most of us know use cases to roll out, but when you are designing, you should have a plan, at least a tentative one, on how you will be rolling them out. Obviously, most of us, we start with the P2P, what's next and when and how. Please allow me to cater for people on the other language. Je disais, quand on fait la conception d'un système de paiement, il y a le système, le schéma. Quelle est la façon dont vous allez concevoir, qui sont les propriétaires? Normalement, tout le monde doit participer. les banques, les microfinances, même les monnaies électroniques doivent avoir aussi un mot à dire parce qu'ils ont une masse après. Bon, la participation. Quelles sont les conditions? Et le modèle économique. Comment est-ce que vous allez, le switch, le hub va fonctionner? Est-ce qu'il sera sous subside de l'État? C'est à partir des frais de transaction? Si c'est vrai, est-ce qu'il sera à profit ou il va fonctionner en mode pour que les transactions couvrent uniquement les opérations sans faire de revenus? Ça, c'est des décisions à prendre. Et quelles sont les responsabilités et les pouvoirs donnés au schéma, au scheme? Et quelles sont les règles? Normalement, les règles, c'est tout le monde qui doit participer dans la conception de ces règles pour qu'ils se sentent inclus. Bon, et la sélection de l'opérateur, est-ce que ça sera opéré par la Banque centrale comme un département? Est-ce que c'est un opérateur privé? Quelles sont les conditions? Ça, c'est des choses à discuter en avance. Bon, et quels sont les cas d'utilisation que vous allez et quel est le plan d'implémentation? Avoir une liste et les possibilités, ça ne suffit pas. Il faut avoir un plan et suivre ce plan. Par exemple, vous pouvez dire, je commence par le compte à compte, après c'est le paiement marchand, après peut-être c'est les taxes, et vous mettez aussi les dates. Merci. Thank you. This was my last. Sue, can you please?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is Sumo from this hour. So in this session, I would like to share the experiences that this hour team ran as a head operator in Myanmar for 2 years. So this session intended for the future head operation team. So firstly, if we would like to run the real-time payment platform and play as a head operation role, so firstly, we need to set up the organization structures like which team member perform the activities regarding from business, technicals, and operation sides. So these three are major to run the real-time payment switch. Sorry. And then actually, we really needed many resources for the relevant thing because all this our team member had no experiences regarding the real-time payment platform. So all the team members joined the Mujalu training courses, and we needed many discussion with the Mujalu team. And also we learned from other people who have the experience in the similar systems. Next slide, please. Okay, in this slide, we share the knowledge regarding the onboarding process. So the team member who will perform the activity related to the onboarding process. So firstly, we try to understand the API standard format used in Mujalu payment manager and also the DFSP backend system. And also the technical team also need to consider the logic to act like the scheme root, such as the rounding amount, which is mean that some DFSP would like to accept only the amount which is divided by 100, like that. So if the scheme council allow DFSP to define their own rounding logic. So that the system integration team need to consider the logic well to add like it should be in the layer which handle for each TFSB like that. So the others can like the fee structure, and then the what kind of information will be shown in the mobile money operator user interface based on the data security and privacy like that. These are the skin rule. And also in the project plan for onboarding process, in terms of the testing, we go through 2 phases. We go through 2 phases, the integration testing and end-to-end testing as well. So before we go the switch commercial go live, so we define the testing phases like friendly user testing phase and closed user group testing, like to ensure the platform is properly working or not. Yeah, and also we developed many documents like I could mention in the previous slide. Next slide, please. And also this slide is the knowledge based on the settlement process. So in the initial phase of the project, we define the settlement band who perform the settlement instruction issued by the hub. So between head operators and settlement band, it should be an agreement including the SLA and the responsibility of the each thing, and also net certificates and the minimum balance of the liquidity accounts and the settlement time are needed to define ahead of the project. So for your information, net certificate means that it is the maximum transaction limit that the FSB own to another DFSB, and it can never exceed the liquidity amount. Once it is reached the maximum limit, that DFSB has no longer to transact the transaction. Yeah. And also we prepare the standard operating procedure file, including the detailed instruction and direction, which help the head operator who perform the settlement to stay on track and not to miss the important steps during the settlement process. And also we develop the the settlement repo specification file for future reference like that, and also the team member who will perform the settlement process learn the business border, finance border features, and the settlement process as well. Next slide, please. In order to provide the good customer service to the DFSB, so it is the crucial task for us as well. We create the subjects portal, and we gave the training to DFSB in order to classify the types of the issue. We define the issue type, like the incidents or a chain request or the problem or something like that. So we define the issue type as well. And also we prepare the standard operating procedure file, including the SLA agreement, and also our service workflow, and the sorry. Yeah, so we developed the standard operating procedure file, including the service level agreement, and in our process workflow diagram and the support level 1 or level 2 like that. So and also it could be mentioned in the previous slide, we developed the dispute management documents and risk management document. So this document had us when we encounter the dispute issue. So we have by having that kind of document, so we can resolve the issue as soon as possible. Yeah. So thank you. Let me start my presentation here.